the topic wealth has been suffocated, globally speaking, right? A lot of teachings left, right, and center. My assignment today is to give you a perspective that will help you. That has helped me. Okay, so by the special grace of God, at the end of this session, we'll be able to smile and say, wow, I got value, all right? True value. So definition of terms as we begin. Laws are principles, rules, regulations that guide and govern a jurisdiction, right? There are laws in Lagos, there are laws in Nigeria, there are laws in Abuja, there are laws in South Africa, in Ghana, in US. There are laws that govern Africa, right? There are laws that govern the entire globe. So yeah, that's off the table, right? These are laws. So basically they serve to guide the operation of people within that jurisdiction. Why am I saying this? We have a jurisdiction that we operate in, that it's called Earth, right? And we were created in his image and likeness, and then God himself has imputed certain laws that if you do this, no matter where you are, if you do this, you will get this. If you don't do this, you also get this. All right. So that's just a tip on laws. In constitution, we'll say the laws are flexible and the laws are rigid, written and unwritten. That's a topic for another day. Let's look at the second term, right? Laws of wealth. So let's look at wealth. Wealth is the abundance of valuable materials, possessions, or resources. Dictionary definition. All right. So the man is very wealthy because he has abundance of valuable materials. And when we talk about materials, we'll do a hand like this, obviously money and resources. A nation is termed wealthy when that nation has abundance of valuable material resources and natural resources, right? We say Nigeria is a very wealthy nation. Why? Because of the human resources in it, the natural resources in it. We have some nations that their wealth also is tied by virtue of the resources within it. But what I need to understand is that there are parameters to which wealth can be pieced together. All right, there are parameters. Now, the laws of wealth, putting this together, if I'm to put it together, stay with me. The laws of wealth are the timeless principles that govern how wealth is created, maintained, and multiplied. If you heard what I said, just give me a yes in the comment section. All right. So the laws of wealth are timeless principles, which means when I'm no longer here, the principles will still stand. When you're no longer here, the principles will still stand. Which means if I rewind, and we go back to the time when Jesus was here, that principle still stands. Solomon was here, that principle still stands. All right. So Adolf Hitler, yeah, when Adolf Hitler was here, this principle still stands. So they govern how wealth is created, maintained, and multiplied. But before we dive into the laws of wealth, there are 6 parameters upon which wealth can be defined. 6 well-structured, simple parameters. Number 1, financial wealth. So when we say a man is wealthy, I know this is the first thing that comes to mind. Money, 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 money. But it is just 1/6. The financial aspect is 1/6. The second level is the intellectual wealth. So we have situations where upstairs, right, the person is sound, but financially is not sound. And we can trace this back to the likes of our inventors, the likes of, Isaac Newton's, all those guys that brought in the formulas, Pythagoras, Socrates, all those guys, right, are philosophers. Intellectually, they were dangerously wealthy. But financially and otherwise, they were just trying to patch up, that kind of thing. So I'm saying it because we can look at them like that person was super wealthy, but if you want to peg their wealth to finance, it's not going to add up. But intellectually, boom, they were good to go. We have the spiritual wealth, and this has to do with you. We talked about this before a while ago, having that strong connection with your creator, your maker, God, right? And it is important. This part of the wealth is very, very, if you miss other part, you can't miss this one. All right. And then we have relational wealth as well. Another layer of, you see some people that intellectually is not there. Financially, is still not there. Spiritually, is a thing of, like Pharaoh letting God's people go, right? But you see, relationally, they have men. And because they have men, they are wealthy. All right, because they have men, they are wealthy. And then we have time wealth. When it comes to time wealth, it means being in a position where you are no longer a slave to time. you have conquered time. So you can do whatever you want to do, whenever you want to do it, however you want to do it. Such a person is wealthy. So, and what I'm explaining with all of this, you don't need to activate a billionaire status for you to achieve all of this. No, no. If you understand what we discussed last week, you can attain a comfortable, you can strike a comfortable balance for yourself as regards to wealth. And then we have health and emotional wealth at the end of it all. Health and emotional health, where you have a balance between body, soul, and mind. Every single thing is in proper order, alignment, sequence. All of these are parameters upon which wealth can be defined. So wealth is very dynamic. It's not the thing that you, so this one is wealthy, this one is not wealthy. This might have it here, might not have it here. But then the goal at the end of the day is to have all 6/6. All right. And my prayer, my wish is as we journey through this day by day, week by week, month by month, year by year, we get to achieve this. All right. To achieve all of this because it is possible. Men have achieved it before us. And by all means, why not? All right. Why not? So, ladies and gentlemen, the laws of wealth are both spiritual and physical. Laws of wealth are both spiritual and physical. So there's a spiritual side to the laws of wealth, and there's a physical side to the laws of wealth. But tonight, we're just going to focus on the physical laws of wealth. They're quite every individuals have come up with different versions to the laws of wealth. Um, some say there are 12 laws of wealth. Some say there are 7, some say there are 10, some say there are 20, some say there are 18, some say there are 15. All right, so I looked at it and then I just pulled out and strike the balance in between, and then I'll be sharing with us some physical laws of wealth. So if you're ready for this, just type PLW in the comment section. So PLW, P for physical, L for laws, W for wealth. So physical laws of wealth. And by next week, we can get to touch on the spiritual laws of wealth. All right. So, but today let's do physical. Let's do physical. The physical laws of wealth. Thank you for the feedback. I begin. Law number 1, the law of value. Now, you see, the physical laws of wealth are so important. Why? Because even if I am in Ghana, these laws, they apply. Even if I am in South Africa, I can apply this law. I'll see result. I go to UK, same thing. I go to Canada. I go so what you need to understand when it comes to wealth creation is not your location. It's your understanding of the laws that have already been put in place. It's like a programming, right? The entire world has been programmed to respond to these laws. And if you know how to put in the right keys, X, Y, Z, A, B, C, you are definitely going to get the results that you're programming into it. All right. And ignorance is not an excuse. So, law number 1, the law of value. The law of value. Now, this is one word that we have used. And permit me say we have abused, right? Do you get value? Yes, value, value, value. Wow, 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 value, value, value. I understand. All right. But it's a law, the law of value. You see, money flows to those who create value. Money will forever flow to those who create value. The phone you have in your hand, right? You call it a phone, but it is called value. The book that you're using to take notes, you call it a book, but it is called value. The television that you have in your sitting room, it's called a television, but behind the scene, it's called value. The application that we are using to stream, excuse me, Zoom YouTube, it's called Zoom YouTube, but behind the scene, it is called value. Please, is somebody getting me? The clothes you are putting on, called it clothes, but behind the scene, it is called value. And money flows to those who create value. Money, it's a principle. So if I go to Ghana, what is in my mind is how do I create value so that money will flow to me? If I go to UK, how do I create value? There's a song that is dangerously trending, right? No turning back, no turning back. Yes, yes, yes. Amazing, no? But guess what? It is value. It is value. So money flows to those who create value. If this is the only law you get, it is totally fine. So that you begin to ask yourself, am I creating value? Or what value have I created for money to gravitate? Remember, laws of wealth. So the goal is to be wealthy, but the wealthy people are letting you know that there's a law that makes them wealthy. And that law is simply because they created value. Ladies and gentlemen, wealth is a result of solving problems or meeting needs. The more value you provide, the more wealth you attract. The calculator that we use to solve our mathematics and all of that, that's value. That's value. And value can be simply put as an information, an idea, a piece, or something that can transform the life of individuals, group of persons. Value. Value. As simple as it is, men have used this law to separate themselves, financially speaking, globally speaking. This law has demystified the normal structure of things that, the perception is go to school, get a job, and then you'll be okay. Somebody decides not to go to school, decides not to get a job, and decides to create value. The value will take him into the realms of kings and queens. It's called value. Why do we always reference Joseph in the Bible? Because he had value. That's it. That's it. So he moved from the prison to the palace because of value. Now, Elon Musk built Tesla and SpaceX. We all know Elon Musk by solving energy and space problems just by creating value, full stop. In turn, he built immense wealth for himself. So the question is this: how well are you maximizing this law? How well are you maximizing this law? Because it's a law that is open to everybody to maximize. And here's the truth of the matter. With the law of value, right? You don't see results immediately. It's like a seed, but you will definitely see results. Sometimes you see results immediately, right? But guess what? If you don't see results immediately, result is bound to come because it is a law. It is a programming already in the universe that for anybody that creates value, this person is supposed to be compensated. So the compensation might delay, but it cannot be denied. It will happen. It will happen. If we're on the same page, give me a yes. Give me a yes if you're on the same page, right? This is law number one. Wait, I have to move fast. All right, so this is law number one. Law number one. Are we on the same page? The law of value. Value. And the world responds. See, the world is seeking valuable men and women to compensate them. So it's not the thing of there's no money in the land, there's no money in the land. It's only you that know that one. No? The land is seeking for valuable people to compensate them. There's money in the land. But the question is, the world is asking, are you valuable? Are you valuable? That's what the world is asking. Okay, so we're good. Thanks for the feedback. So let's go. Let's go. Law number two. Law number two. All right. The law of exchange. The law of exchange. Law number two. The law of exchange. The law of exchange. Now you are paid in direct proportion to the value you deliver in the market. It's a law. You are paid in direct proportion to the value you deliver in the marketplace. It is for this very reason Jim Rohn will say, work more on yourself than you do on your job. So work more on building yourself, right, than you do on your job. And I'll break it down so you understand. Now, you earn what the market believes your products, service, or skills are worth. The greater your impact, the greater your income. So if you become more, you earn more. If you become less, you earn less. Clearly put. Classical example. A brain surgeon earns more than a cleaner, not because one is more important as a person, but because of the value and the rarity of the skill. Let me rephrase. One of them can easily be replaced. The other one is difficult to replace him. A gateman can easily be replaced, easily. But the MD that is bringing in 3 times profit to that bank, they're thinking it is difficult. It's difficult. He's very competent. A which profession should I use now? A gate man can easily be replaced in a federal medical center. Easily. The security easily. Easily. Snap of a finger, they're gone. But you see, the people calling the shots that makes a lot of decisions health-wise is difficult. So the law of exchange demand that their compensation is high is a law. So how do you use this law to your advantage? You find a way to ensure that what you bring to the table is of greater advantage so that you cannot be easily replaced. That's just it. So you look with what you're doing, your business, your job, how easy can they replace you? If they can easily replace you, then there's a challenge. If it's difficult to replace you, yeah, that's when we say, okay, you are a hot cake. How we say it? This person now a hot cake. Talking about hot cake. If you are a baker, everybody else is baking. But when you are a baker, and by virtue of your baking, you only bake for kings and certain types of persons, and this your own cake, there is something that is unique as regards to it. You're separating yourself. The other time, I think I was mentioning some guys that do cakes, say fastestcakes.com. I'm giving them pre-advert, right? Those guys, if they tell you, like, as we are now, we can actually book, order a cake, and the cake can come in, let's say, before 9 o'clock. Well prepared. So when we look at that company, right, or that business, and Mama Nkechi on the other side that says she's baking, and then I tell her I need a cake, and she's telling me it's already late, let's wait till Sunday before the cake will be ready. She has separated herself. There's a law of exchange. Please, are we getting this law? It's the law of exchange. All right. So the greater your impact, the higher your income. The law of exchange still places a demand, or is still the reason why the products called Apple, right? iPhone. Those guys, see, by next year, their devices will be going for like 2.5 million, 3 million naira, 3.5 for just a phone. And people will pay. Is the law of exchange. Few years ago, the same people were selling their phones to us for 50,000 naira, 100,000 naira. And now the same phone, little upgrade here and there, is being sold for millions. And we're okay with it. It's called the law of exchange. All right. And anybody can maximize this law. Any single person. Any single person. So that's the law of exchange. Let's move to law number 3 very, very fast. If we're on the same page, give me a yes, give me a yes, give me a yes. Law number 3, the law of leverage. Remember, we're discussing laws of wealth. The law of leverage. These are laws that if you know, you use. If you don't know, then the law will work against you. It will work against you. Now let me break it down. When it comes to leverage, you use tools, you can use people, you can use systems, you can use capital to multiply your impact. There's an app called ChatGPT. If you have ever used that app before, give me a yes in the comment section. ChatGPT. What ChatGPT does for you is to give you the opportunity for you to leverage. It's a tool. Can also be used as a system, right? Your impact. So what is supposed to take you strenuous time to do, ChatGPT get it done. Right? Just a simple example of it to just get this whole idea of leverage. We have systems that enable, okay, so let me even classical example, what we're doing now. We're on Zoom and we're also streaming on YouTube. So what are we doing? We are leveraging on Zoom to communicate. And through Zoom, we are leveraging on YouTube. Is somebody getting me? Is leverage. And I can simply say, okay, since we are here now, everybody here, so let's try the law of leverage. So everybody, let's share this link out to 10 other persons. If there are 50 people listening to me and the link goes out to 10 persons, 50 times 10, it becomes 500. I alone, I can't do 500. But guess what? In a space of 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, the same information gets across to 500 people. It's called leverage. And if true wealth is what you desire, then you need to think leverage. What you lack in ability, you can make up in leverage. And when you understand this, it now becomes clear that you don't need to, oh my goodness, okay. You are in Nigeria, right? And you want to pass a message across to somebody that is not in Nigeria. Through social media, you can create leverage. I'm trying to bring it now just to give you like the most basic understanding of all of these things. You can still use your money to create leverage. You can still use your money. So with the law of leverage, wealthy people don't work harder. That's what I want you to truly understand. The wealthy people, they are not the most hardworking people. It is the people that are not wealthy that are actually the most hardworking people. They work smarter by leveraging on other people's time, money, and technology. Full stop. They're not the most hardworking people. Not at all. Not at all. Since like on the 2nd of this month, I've been posting short videos. Those videos are like, if you come on, those videos are like old videos. 2000, and I say 2000, 2021, 2022. I'm not the one doing the videos. I only copied the link, posted it on ChatGPT. No, no, no. On the Opus AI, and the AI system cuts up the video they send to me, and then distribution happens. It's leverage. We're using technology. So a lot seems to be happening that if you're not paying attention, you'll be left behind. But what I need to understand is that the wealthy people, they're not working hard. No, no, that hard work that you're thinking, they no follow. Mm-mm. They are always looking for a way to leverage. Always, always, always. All right? Always. So, classical example, Jeff Bezos didn't deliver Amazon packages himself. He built systems and teams that scaled Amazon globally. Let's bring it home. Dangote. We know Dangote, right? Dangote has never, everybody here, we have either his salt, spaghetti, or indomie in our house. Three of us. There's Dangote something, even if it's the cement, there's Dangote something in our house. Please, is it Dangote that sold it to you? Is it when you were buying it in the market? Was it Dangote that said, okay, madam, take, oga, take? Was it Dangote? No. Systems and structures put in place ensure that somebody somewhere gets it across to you. Dangote we will never see him in the market. But guess what? He's in the market. That's the joy of leverage. Leverage gives you the dexterity to still be visible even when you are invisible. It is for this very reason, listen to me, that Michael Jackson is no longer here. But guess what? Our children's children will know Michael Jackson because of leverage. Because of leverage. It is because of leverage that Jesus physically is no longer here. The disciples physically, they are no longer here. Am I communicating? Because of leverage, they are still here. It's leverage, so that you don't think it's something that we're just seeing now. You don't pay. So it's a law. It's a law. All right? It's a law. And if you understand this law, you're able to position yourself at a level. Okay. Are you aware that, okay, this training we're doing now, all these trainings that we're doing, every single thing, they will be available till the kingdom come. So our children's children will come and say, oh, mommy was part of this, daddy was part of this. And they can leverage on what we have put in place and they get to benefit from it. It's a law, ladies and gentlemen. The worst that can happen is that a man or woman decides to now fight the law. Fighting the law is you actually deciding to wound yourself, because the law is the law. All right? The law is the law. So I believe I've been able to bring in different perspectives to this law of leverage so that we get it. Right? So let's move fast, let's move fast, let's move fast. Law of leverage. You use it to your own advantage. And then we have law number 5, the law of financial literacy. All right, the fifth physical laws of wealth, law of financial literacy. We discussed heavily as regards this last week. If you're not here, please, I beg in the name of God, you can go back to last week's training. If you can't manage money, you lose money. Please, if you got this part, give me a yes. If you cannot manage money, you are bound to lose it. All right. If you can't manage it, you will lose it. You will lose it. I was speaking a few hours back with a businesswoman, and we were just trying to evaluate her business. Long story short, I was trying to get numbers right. So I asked her, cash flow made, income made last 3 months. What are we looking at? And she said, she didn't really keep track, right? So I told her, I said, for the fact that you didn't keep track, you've lost money, right? You not being able to manage the money, you actually lost money. There's no two ways about it. So it's a law. It's a law. So law of financial intelligence, knowing how to earn is one thing, knowing how to keep money is one thing, knowing how to grow money is another thing. It's a law that must be holistically practiced if truly you want to be wealthy. You must practice this one religiously. You must take your time and go through it, right? Example here, lottery winners often lose everything within 5 years due to poor financial decisions. So what you don't understand, what a man doesn't understand, he will fight it. But here's the thing, what you don't understand is forever greater than you. For some people on earth, this is the only law that they know. And they have used it to settle their generations and their generation. So even if you don't like any of the other laws, it's not doing you well. At least try this one. Just master this one. And we have a clear-cut template to help anybody that is truly serious about this to master the law. So it's a law, all right? It's a law. It's a law. If we're good on this, just type LOF. Give me an LOF in the comment section. All right, give me an LOF in the comment section. Let's go. Law of financial literacy. It's very key. It's very key. Like I said last week, I said that the difference between the wealthy and the soon to be wealthy or will not be wealthy is simply financial intelligence. Simply put, financial intelligence. All right, financial intelligence. Thank you for the feedback, everybody. All right, so let's move to another law. Let's move to another law real quick. Law number 6, the law of mindset. The law of mindset. Mindset. I was about saying this is my favorite, but let me not say it's my favorite. All the laws are amazing. Wealth begins in the mind. As a man thinketh in his heart, context it in his mind, so is he. If you think wealth, you become wealth. You think poverty, you become poverty. You think abundance, you become abundance. You think scarcity, that becomes your reality. It's a law that you can use your mind to pull things towards you. That once you understand, you see, that's why we have books like Think and Grow Rich, right? It's laying emphasis on this law. To show you how this law is important to people have written books, they've acted movies. What have they not done to bring to our consciousness that you see this law, don't play with it. Don't play with it. There's a book that I'm reading, say Science of Getting Rich, right? So I've read it, listened to audio, and all the gentleman is saying is it starts with your thought too. There's a science, divide the X towards getting rich, creating wealth. But this science starts with your thoughts. Your thoughts are not aligned, it can happen. All right. So it starts with your thoughts. So law of mindset. Your beliefs shape your financial behavior. Limiting beliefs like money is evil repels wealth forever. There's some persons that pride with the fact that they say, oh, we are doomed in the country. There's no hope. This one, that one, no money in the country. Is a mindset that is speaking. It's a sustained thinking pattern, largely affected by environment, family, friends, media, culture. It's a mindset, very dangerous mindset. And the law of the mindset states that whatever you have accepted, whatever you have conceived, it becomes your reality. So if the reality is, yeah, there's no money in Nigeria, ladies and gentlemen, that is what will be projected. It's a mindset. So what this law is saying is if you can change what is inside here, everything outside will change. It's just saying if you don't like the output, Change the input. So if you change the input, the output will also change. Full stop. It's a very powerful law that affects relationship, that affects spirituality. It affects generally every single thing that we do. The law of mindset. Even listening to me now, all that I'm saying, if the law of the mindset is not really aligned, what I'll be saying, interpretation will be another thing entirely. So, quick example, entrepreneurs who see problems as opportunities often create solutions that become million-dollar businesses. So, what kind of mindset do you have? Is it a growth mindset that sees abundance, opportunities, or is it a fixed mindset that sees limitation, retrogression, scarcity, dangers, hindrances, obstacles, negativity? Because whatever you get to see is what you will seize. So if what you're seeing is abundance, you can seize abundance. If what you're seeing is limitation, that is what you get to seize. It's a law. It's a law. It's for this very reason, knowing that this is a law, right? You now have to protect your mind. You guard your mind. It's not everything that you listen to. Because the mind is a fertile ground. Please, if you heard what I said, give me a yes. The mind is a farm, so that we understand. Let me say fertile ground. Use English and package what is farm. Is a farm. Is a farm. And it simply means that if I plant mango, it will grow. If somebody comes and plant granite, it will grow. Plant corn, it will grow. So because it's a fertile ground and is a farm, because it's a farm and it's my farm, I have to be careful what I allow people come and plant. I have to be very careful so that it happened in the Bible. I don't plant yam and I'm coming to see corn. Where did the corn come from? See, an evil one. Why men slept, an evil one came and he just did some transactions. That's why you are seeing corn. Why am I saying this? This entire session is actually me sowing. The conversation you had morning to this point, people were sowing, 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 sowing. So you understand. And these seeds will germinate. Some have germinated already. Some it will be tomorrow, in a week time, in a month time. That's how dangerous, right? This law is. There are some persons, how you react, how you behave now, how you think, how you process information is because some seeds were sown into you when you were at a tender age. Is now we are seeing the fruit of it. Is now we're seeing the fruit of it. So I'm saying because when it comes to this law, you have to take out time to sit down and see what are the mindsets. Remember, we're talking about laws of wealth, so I'm trying to just carve everything to wealth. But what are the mindsets that have been programmed into me, right? That are for good and the ones that are for evil. So you have to be honest with yourself. Like, what's the concept you have as regards to wealth? What kind of mentality do you have? Do you feel it's only people that live in Lekki, VI, Banana Island that are supposed to be enjoying Lagos, right? Only those in the island, the mainland people, God will help us. It's a mindset. Do you feel, right? Let me just digress a little bit, that because a child, right? Or do you feel that because for your child to be successful, he has to go to a private school? That's a mindset. If he doesn't go to this specific private school, yeah. No, sir. It's a mindset. I'm not saying don't take them to the best of school, take them to the best of schools, but I'm saying you have to be cautious of the mindset. And most of the time, sometimes some schools that some parents settle for is because of status, like so that they know my kids are in that school. I'm not going into that, all right? But you get the concept behind the laws of the mindset. It's very key that you understand that your beliefs shape your financial behavior, your belief. There are some persons that once money comes to their hand, boom, money is spent, right? It's a mindset. They are the ones that are very cautious with money, very accountable with money. And those that are not accountable with money, it's all a mindset. It's a law. It's a law. All right? It's a law. So if we got this law and then we're good to go, please somebody type in mindset in the comment section. Type in mindset, type in mindset, type in mindset, type in mindset. So all these laws are to personalize. You audit yourself using the laws. Which do I know? Which do I not know? And how do I get to start building on this? Law number 7, the law of relationships. All right, the law of relationships, very, very powerful law. Very, very powerful law. Relationship are advantageous connections. Your being here today is by virtue of relationship, right? So to show you how this law, you cannot deny this law. The way we have been created, right, from Genesis down to Revelation, it is based on the premises of this law. You abuse this law, you cannot go far in life. You cannot go, you cannot even, you cannot go anywhere. Talk more of say you are going fast. You can't go anywhere. The relationships you maintain will serve as bridges to an exceptional life. And if somebody is having a life filled with frustration, regret, it is as a result of relationships. So whether you go left or whether you go right or you can trace it and say, it's a relationship that is leading this person there. So great men and women have shared that an integral aspect of their wealth is tied to their network, relationship. So who are the average people you hang around with? Who are the people? Who are in your inner circle? Who are them? Because who are these people? Because when we look at these individuals, we know who you are. In as much as you want to argue it, no, 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 no. When we look at them, we are seeing you. When we see you, we are seeing them. It's how powerful it is. And to show you how this law is very effective, look at our political system. The people that are in power today, ladies and gentlemen, what do you think brought them there? Is relationship. I'm not going to come and say our votes did not count. Our votes shall count, but if you know, you know. It's relationship. The people that will be in power the next time, they are already in one or two positions, maximizing and servicing relationship. Once the time is right, they will step into that office. Is relationship, is a law. They are maximizing the law. If you look at our tech startups, you look at OPay, you look at PAMPay, you look at Carbon, you look at is it Paystack? Yeah, Paystack, Stripe, the Nigerian payments, platforms that we have, right? Those guys are doing dangerously well. But here's what you need to understand. At some point in time, the head of all those tech startups, they knew themselves. They knew themselves. If you trace back, they were, yeah, how we say, they were in the same WhatsApp group. They were in the same WhatsApp group. Fast forward, billion naira company. Some are diving into the $1 billion fold. That's the power of relationships. That's why if you notice, if you're using the interface, there are some common traits that this one will have, 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 this one. It's the same WhatsApp group. Relationship for you. Relationship. Some of you, if you're familiar, there's what we call the PayPal mafias. The PayPal mafias, if you search that on YouTube or on Google, you see a story behind it. What happened there was the individuals that we have today that run Tesla, Google, YouTube, LinkedIn, all those guys, you know, former former owner of X, which is Twitter, Facebook, all those guys, they were actually the ones running the PayPal business, the PayPal business that Elon Musk owned a while back and then he sold. So they were like the PayPal mafias. Fast forward now, they are not together, but every single one of them runs a multi-billion dollar business. Relationship. We have our internet. Let me bring you our entertainment industry. If you check, you trace it back. So you and this artist and this artist, or this actor and this actress, they went to the same university, they went to the same primary school. Oh, they did command so and so together. They did this, they did that together. You can trace it back. What you are seeing is them at the prime, the zenith, right, of their crafts. What you need to understand is that the relationship brought them there. That because in the university they did a drama piece together, and now this person is at the top. So who would you like to recommend? Oh, there's this Nkechi. We acted one time and it made everybody happy. Let me call Nkechi. Where are you? Nkechi comes in, boom, boom, boom. Next big thing. And you say she's lucky. No, it's a law of relationships. And one key way you service this law is through honor. It's through honor. We've touched on this before, so we're not going to. I'm just bringing all of this to your consciousness so you understand that these are laws. These are laws, and they can be maximized. And if not for anything, right? If not for anything, what I would strongly advocate is that the doors that your children will maximize, you can program them by virtue of relationships. You can actually program them. That junior comes in. Classical example. Um, I picked up a book by Mike Murdoch. So richest man who ever lived. Mike Murdoch. So he was talking about Solomon, and he referenced the fact as regards to how Solomon maximized relationship, left, right, and center. And where did he learn it from? His father David. He ensured that this person will take care of this person like this, like this, like this, like this, and he stood. With what is written here, Solomon is actually the first king to set up a navy. A navy. The whole idea of say we have a Nigerian navy, that concept of having a navy came through Solomon. Came through Solomon. But when it comes to relationship, he understood. That's why he stood as an intermediary, right? Middleman. He's the one settling issues for this nation. This nation has issue. He will be the connector. He will do this. He will do that. Relationship. Relationship. All right, relationship. And he opened doors for him, left, right, and center, brought in kings, brought in resources, and brought in transactions as well. If you know, you know. Ladies and gentlemen, final notes. The laws that you know will work for you, while the laws you do not know will work against you. I'll say it again. The laws that you know will work for you, right? You know the law of mindset is to work for you because you know it, you're applying it, right? Knowing is not enough, you must apply. So you know you apply, it works for you, right? The law of value, you know it and you're doing it, is working for you. No problem. You don't know some laws, or you know them and you ignore them, right? So you get to pay the price for ignorance. So we talk about the law of relationship, and you're like, no, my kind of person, please, oh, please, please, please. I don't need anybody. I don't. No, the story was told still in this book. A young lad said, I'm sick and tired. I don't need anybody. I just want to live my life. Nobody should disturb me. I want to be alone. I don't want to. You know how they talk now. Gen Z. Good. And the dad looked at him and said, okay, so what's your next move? He said, I'm leaving the house. Say, all right. So when you step out of the house, what's your next move? Say, I'm booking a cab. Say, okay. So when you book this cab, what happens next? Say, I'm taking a flight. Say, okay. When you take this flight, where will you go to? I'll go to another country. Okay. So when you get to this country, where will you live? I'll get somewhere and then I'll leave. Say, good. Now, the phone you use to book a cab, is it not a human being? Since you say you don't need anybody, isn't that a human being? So he's ignoring the law of relationships. It's not a human being that created the phone. If the human being did not create the phone, would you use it? The cab you want to call, who will drive? Is it the cab that will drive itself? Is it not a human being? If you want to tell me the car is self-driven, is it not a human being that has built that car? Is it not a human being that has built that car? Right? Not just that alone. You booking a flight, the pilot, is it AI? Is it not a human? So the dad made him understood clearly that, oh boy, for you to maximize and live life, you cannot ignore this law. You cannot ignore this law. All right. So my prayer, my hope is the fact that you have listened to me clearly and you have gotten a hang of, if not all the laws, right? These are just some of the laws. Not there's a law of productivity, right? There's a law of compound effects. There are quite a number of laws there. All right. Productivity being the fact that what you do today compounds as you keep doing it consistently, and in due time you will yield an abundance of results. That's compound. Productivity being the fact that for the fact that you sow, you must reap is a law, even back up in the Bible, Galatians 6, verse 7. So all of these are laws, ladies and gentlemen. So what's my assignment to us today? Take out time. All right, take out time before we meet next week to discuss these spiritual laws. All right, before we meet next week to discuss the spiritual laws, take out time and go through this session again. Go through this session again. If what you can tell yourself is, okay, there are 7 laws this month alone, I'm going to start with the first law. All right. And then you pick it piece by piece by piece by piece. Just do one law every month. Master one law every month. Just master one law every month. Okay, just master one law every month. So um if you have questions, feel free to ask your questions. If you're on YouTube, I can't see you, but I know that you're listening to me. Okay, so if you have questions, feel free to ask your questions while that is happening. I'll just run through the assignments. If you don't have any questions, it's totally fine. But then ensure that if you have anybody you love, let them know about this law, because their ignorance will definitely cost them of this law. It will cost them. So quick announcement, how to become a full member of the academy. We have our divisions that are open. We have our social media division where you get to learn how to use social media to build skill, your business, your brand in the global market, market penetration. We have you covered as regards the social media division. We have our cash flow division where we show you a proven cash flow system to accumulate £1 million in 6 to 12 months, step-by-step procedures. We have a charity division where we give back to the less privileged by feeding a family or sending a child back to school. That's a charity division. We have an investment division, which anchors on the law of financial intelligence, their financial literacy. So you understand how to set up a perfect retirement plan and make your money work for you. All right. It's reserved for individuals with a constant cash flow and also individuals that want to understand how this law works so that they can use it to their own advantage. So to access any of the division or join our WhatsApp platform, you can get back to the person that give you access to the academy, and the individuals would give you access and clarity as regards to what to do. So next week, we're diving into the spiritual laws of wealth. All right, the spiritual laws of wealth, because at the end of the day, if all of these things are in check and it's not adding up, then we need to go and check the spiritual. But what I'll tell you is before you even do the physical, settle the spiritual. All right. So I just had to use that to open up the floor. Next week, we're diving into the spiritual laws of wealth. Because there are some persons that you'll be like, this person is not supposed to be wealthy. Why is this person wealthy? There are some people like that, you understand? So what I'll tell you is that they are chewing stick. If you don't know what that means, don't worry. Next week, we'll break it down so you understand. Okay, so it's either you're chewing stick or you engage in the accurate spiritual laws of wealth. So, as always, my goal is not to inspire you, not to motivate you, not to impress you, or rather to impress within you the desire to become more, do more, and then have more. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, thank you. It has been an amazing time with you this evening. Okay, so we're right on time, 8 o'clock. Damn. Okay, so I'll see you same time next week. If you have questions, feel free to ask. The WhatsApp group will be open. So in the group, once it's opened up, type in what you learned today in the group. All right. That's the only way that I know for sure that we didn't get to waste our time here. All right. So just share what you learned in the group. Immediately the group is opened up. So thank you very much, everybody. And I'll see you same time next week. God bless you.